Thanks to our friends at The Motley Fool for sponsoring this video. Visit fool.com/ASYM for the top 10 stocks to buy right now. We finally have an end to the standoff between Disney and Charter, which kept channels like ESPN off of Charter spectrum, affecting about 15 million people in the US. And it's very early hours. This news came out about an hour ago before I was recording. And what we know so far is very interesting because it's looking like the two companies are creating a bridge to a streaming future. Both Disney and Charter will actually have an incentive to push people to streaming services. So I want to go through exactly what we know so far and what the impact on both companies might be. My name is Travis William. Thanks for watching Asymmetric Investing. Please subscribe here on YouTube for all my content. And if you like this video, check out my newsletter, Asymmetric Investing. In the show notes, I've covered ESPN, Disney, and this entire dynamic in detail on that newsletter. And the first thing we can do is go to the release that came out from Charter in a joint statement with Disney. This is the announcement from Charter, and there are a few things that really pop out because they're brand new to these agreements between cable distributors and content companies like Disney. One is that basic ad-supported Disney Plus will be included with Spectrum TV video packages. And that will be part of what they call a wholesale agreement between the two companies. A wholesale agreement is basically just an agreement between two parties to say, hey, I will sell a whole bunch of some item and you're going to give me a discount as a result. So grocery stores buy from wholesalers, big box retailers buy from wholesalers. In this context, Disney is actually using companies like Amazon or Apple as a wholesaler for their content. So that's really the dynamic here, is that they become a wholesaler of Disney Plus. Ad-supported ESPN Plus will be included in Spectrum TV Select Plus video packages. This is the sports tailored content package. So that makes sense to include ESPN Plus with that. The other big thing is Charter will make Disney's direct to consumer services. So that is ESPN Plus, Hulu, and Disney Plus. Those will be available for purchase and actually marketed to Charter's broadband only customers. That's a lot of news here, but I think the big thing is that the cable bundle has not been completely broken up by this disagreement between Charter and Disney. That was really the worry, especially going into Monday Night Football, which would be one of the most popular shows on TV and on ESPN. That's happening tonight as I'm recording. So this agreement gets done before that. In other words, ESPN has some legs for the foreseeable future. The challenge for Disney has always been, how do you make that bridge to the streaming future? How do you go from having 100 million people subscribing to ESPN through cable packages to 100 million people or more subscribing to ESPN, Hulu, all these other services through streaming services? And how do you reduce the churn that's involved or the cancellation that people have when they're subscribing to streaming services? And this is an answer to that. Charter Broadband now becomes a distribution partner. Not only that, but Disney gets to have more customers in its ad-supported tier for Disney Plus. I've done a few videos on this, but the economics for Disney Plus ad-supported is actually really strong. The delta between the ad-supported tier and the premium tier that doesn't have ads is about $6. So we can assume that Disney is valuing the ads that it can sell on Disney Plus ad-supported at least $6. So this will actually get more people into that service, serving up more ads. You want to fill that top of the funnel if you're Disney, and this really is a step in moving in that direction. What I have to wonder with this agreement is, what do future agreements look like? I think that there's going to be something of a convergence in how we think about distributing linear TV, so the old school ESPN, the Disney Channel, the traditional cable channels, and how we're distributing the streaming services. With distribution of the cable channels, there was often only one or two options. You had the cable line that was going into your house. That's oftentimes a local monopoly. Some customers choose Dish. Now we have these over-the-top products like YouTube TV. That cable product is a very specific product. The future is likely more with something like the streaming services, where you have a potentially infinite library. You're not constrained by things like the hours in the day and the number of channels that you have. So if you're Disney, that opens up a lot of opportunities, particularly with advertising and serving up more content to your users. The question is, how do you fill that funnel? How do you distribute that content to tens, hundreds of millions of users, especially as ESPN itself starts to go over the top, which is supposedly coming in the near future? One of the answers is you have a bunch of distribution partners who help you sell the product. The partners that I think make the most sense are the companies that are providing broadband. Charter is making more money on broadband than it is on linear TV. So if they get a little cut of every subscriber that's subscribing to Hulu or Disney Plus, that's good news for them because that becomes margin that they can add to their profitable side of their business. And that linear business can just kind of keep existing and they create a bridge to the future. Disney gets more distribution for its streaming services. It's really a win-win for everybody. And I think that's the takeaway from this. With Disney, the question now is who are the additional distribution partners that they can add? I think companies like Verizon, T-Mobile, AT&T make a lot of sense. Anybody that's serving up broadband is going to be a natural partner. So as we go to things like 5G fixed broadband, that's going to be a great place to find new customers, add a little bit of revenue to those services, and get more customers in the door for Disney. So this could actually show the path forward, show what the TV business looks like beyond just cable and how the rebundling, maybe bundling your broadband service with a number of different streaming services. I think that's probably where this is headed, and Charter and Disney are really showing the way. But what do you think of the deal? Leave your comments in the comments section below. Don't forget to subscribe to Asymmetric Investing. Thanks for watching, everybody. See you here next time.